هموطنان عزیز، دوستان گرامی، به برنامه ستاره تیوی خوش آمدید. امیدوار هستم به هر گوشه دنیا که هستید به صحت و سلامت باشین. آرزو میکنم لبهایتان بخنده و قلبهایتان شاد باشد. با این آرزو و امیدواری ما فوزی آریان از شبکه 31 در شهر زیبای ملبورن برنامه را به شما تقدیم
می‌کنم. Another afternoon on Sutara TV. I hope you're enjoying our new time slot of 4:30 in the afternoons. Today I'm very delighted to have one of our special guests all the way from Sydney, Mr. Mosa, who's one of the founders of Payam Radio. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mosa. How are you today?
It's good to be here and it's a pleasure. Thank you very much, Sutara.
All right, Mr. Mosa, I hope you've had a nice trip to Melbourne today. I just want to find out some information about the work you do in Sydney and how your radio came about. So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and also your educational background.
Sutara Jan, I've had the pleasure of meeting most of my community people, and with those who I haven't met yet, I would like to meet in the near future. I would like to thank you and thank Sutara TV for giving me this opportunity to be here and share my experience, knowledge and ideas with your broader community. And to tell you about my educational background, I completed my HSC from Chester Hill High School in Sydney, Diploma in Business Management from Granville College, and Bachelor of Business majoring in Operations Management from University of Western Sydney in 2007. I'm currently conducting my Masters in Business Administration at the University of Western Sydney. Currently I'm conducting the role of Manager at the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. I'm Justice of Peace in the state of New South Wales. Also study aviation, hold a pilot license and have been flying since 2008.
Okay, that was very interesting to know. So can you now tell us about what got you interested in the media and especially radio?
So, John, as you know, we have migrated to Australia through many nations belonging to various walks of life and most importantly, with great knowledge, ideas and experiences. As you know, we were never treated equally in our beloved country Afghanistan, Islamic Republic of Iran and other nations we came through. We thank the Australian people and the government for providing us with our needs and wants as well as the opportunities which we never had experienced outside. I would like to say that it is our responsibility to choose the right path and take advantage of the opportunities provided to us in Australia. Sutara Jan, Radio Payam's goal and vision is to bring awareness to the people of Afghanistan on their rights, encouraging them to preserve their culture, history, identity, and most importantly, our languages. Media is a platform which you could use to educate our listeners educationally, socially, culturally, to integrate with other cultures in Australia, as well as preserving ours and also teaching other people about our culture and learning from them.
Fantastic. We know that there are a few radio programs in Australia, but how is Payam Radio different?
Sutara Jan, Radio Payam's goal and vision is to bring awareness to the people of Afghanistan on their rights, encouraging them to preserve their culture, history, identity, and most importantly, our languages. Media is a platform which you could use to educate our listeners educationally, socially, culturally, to integrate with other cultures in Australia, as well as preserving ours and also teaching other people about our culture and learning from them.
So when did your radio program actually start broadcasting?
Radio Payam was launched officially in September 2010. We broadcast both in English and Dari as well as Hazaragi sometimes. Our listeners and participants are from all walks of life, expressing their views and ideas to the broader community.
Okay, so your radio program's fairly new. And also there are a few radio programs in Australia at the moment, but how is your radio different and also who's your main audience?
Sutara Jan, as you know, we have many Afghanistani radio programs in Australia and each one has its own target listeners and participants. I'll give you an example. For example, Radio Shamla in Sydney, established recently, is in Pashto only. Its target market is only Pashtuns or people who could speak Pashto. Radio Payam is broadcast in Dari, English and Hazaragi, as I mentioned before. Majority of our listeners are from the Hazara background, as well as Tajiks, Pashtuns, Uzbeks, and Australians as well, because we broadcast in English. I would like to stress this point that Pashto, Hazaragi, Dari, English, Hindi and other languages are a way of communication. And if I don't understand Hindi, for example, then I must not make fun of it or perceive it inferior. We must respect one another. History is important to be read and understood, but we can't and must not try to implement, for example, the same politics from the Amir Abdul Rahman regime, because we are in different time.
How can our viewers actually listen to your radio?
Radio Payam is broadcast on Sundays from 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's Sydney, on 90.5 FM. Live on www.payamradio.com. We do understand that some of our listeners may not be able to listen at that particular time, so we also have established the mentioned website so you could listen to the week's program at your own convenient time.
Okay, I'm sure our viewers will be tuning into your program from now on. I also read that you've been involved in many organisations, so can you tell me, apart from the radio, what other activities you do within the community?
Sutara, I'm mainly interested in educational, historical, cultural and social activities, and we have established a platform, and through Radio Payam we broadcast beneficial ideas, knowledge, information, politics and etc. to our listeners. I'm also involved with the government officials, professionals and community people in taking our community towards a brighter future. The only way to success is education and knowledge, and we must concentrate on long-term goals and strategies rather than short-term goals to work as a painter or a car wash, to buy a car and get married the next day.
Okay, so what other activities have you taken part in so far?
Well, I'm also a member of the Shooting Association. It's called SSII in Sydney, New South Wales. As I said, I study aviation, hold a pilot license, and with spare times I read different books. For example, from Breaking the Spell by James Stork to Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. It's a challenge to balance all these activities. I mean, that is why I would like to encourage all our listeners and viewers to participate at their local community associations, media, not just Radio Payam, for example, Sutara TV, because this is not one person's job.
So how do you think your radio program will actually benefit Afghans in Australia?
As discussed before, you could benefit socially, educationally, historically and culturally. We cover different topics from religion, politics to psychology. Most importantly, you could benefit by expressing your views and ideas beneficial to the broader community.
All right, Mr. Mosa, just before we go, I want to thank you for coming on our show today. And just before you leave, would you like to make a song request? And if you do, what's your favourite song?
Once again, I would like to thank you, Sutara and Sutara TV audience, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with you today. I listen to a variety of music, and lately I've been listening to Ali Umid. His famous song Marina is heard by many people in the community.
All right, here's a song request by Mr. Mosa.
دوستان عزیز، برنامه ما به همین جا به پایان میرسد. تا برنامه آینده که باز هم در خدمت حاضر میشویم. شما را به خداوند متعال سپرده، الله نگهدار.